I am. Hello.
Hi, everyone. Welcome.
Hello, and welcome back to Marx Library Live. Week...
I don't even know
We
anymore.
don't even know.
6?
7? 6? Something like that? Okay, so my name is Beth and Shepherd. I am the Arts and Humanities Librarian here at the Marx Library at the University of South Alabama, and with me is my charming co-host.
I'm Stephanie Eversard, the Social Sciences Librarian here at the Marx Library.
And today, we're going to talk a little bit about something that...
Causes a whole lot of problems.
Right, and it's interesting because, well, okay, so our promo, as you saw on Instagram, our topic today is authentication. The best things in life aren't always free.
Right. When you're talking about resources.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, love, sure. But, like, no one cares
What
about
did they
that.
talk about Week of Valentine's
Right,
Day?
no one cares about love. Everyone cares about resources. Okay, so, but this is something that I was thinking about it, like, in thinking about authentication, and it came up because I taught a class last week of a bunch of very, very bright, smart, upper grad students in a method, like a research course in their discipline. And so these are not, like, people who've never done research before, very smart, like, doing a whole lot of thinking. And this came up, and I was like, oh, wow, this is not one of the things that you kind of learn anywhere else.
Right.
Authentication is an issue that is unique to library resources.
Right.
And you're not going to, like, stumble across learning how to do it unless someone tells you how to do it.
Right, so that's what we're going to do.
Right. Because, like, some of the things we talk about on here, like topic development, you're hearing that from us, but you're also hearing it from, you know,
your English class.
Right.
Yeah.
Authentication is probably, you're only going to hear about that from...
Yeah, this is the only place you're going to get it.
Yeah. So, what do we mean by authentication, Stephanie?
All right, so when you are using library resources, when you're on campus, the resource recognizes that you're on campus, so they recognize that you're a student and that you have access to these resources. So we actually spend a lot of money.
A lot of money.
On these resources to subscribe to them. And
Yeah.
so just like any other subscription, only the people who subscribe to it are allowed to use it.
So Netflix, right?
Right.
Only you, your mom, your brother can all use the same Netflix account, right?
If you keep sharing that name and password, they will catch on to
Well,
it.
and you can only share so many, right? And we have the same agreements with, like, our essential subscription service, like a big giant Netflix, but way more complicated, right? So we have a certain number, which is all, essentially, everyone who's affiliated with the institution, actively affiliated, right? So that means current students, current faculty, and current staff, right? And so it's our responsibility, kind
to
of
make
like...
sure that only those people use the resources.
Right, kind of like you and your Netflix account. Like, you want to maintain it, so you don't give it away to everybody, right?
Right.
So...
There has to be a way for those resources to recognize that the person using them is authenticated.
Right, is affiliated with us, right? Which is why you can't, I don't know if you may have done this, tried to do this before, if you try to go to another library and look at resources like that you know we may have, it won't let you because you're not affiliated with that institution. You're not affiliated with the University of Alabama or Harvard or MIT or wherever you're looking, right? So...
I was so sad when I lost access to the University of Alabama.
I know, I lost LSU and I was like, goodbye!
I had it for like a year after graduation.
I know. I was like, goodbye, all the databases. So, what happened to me the other night with the students is that I think what happens to a lot of students, and we see this a good bit, is you kind of remember the name of the database that, like, a librarian told you, or, you know, your professor told you, and you Google it.
Yeah, you Google, like, JSTOR.
JSTOR. And so you get to it through Google, and then you can search, I think JSTOR, which we found out the other night, lets you get, like, 6 articles free.
Right.
And then they cut you off. And so a student kept telling me, like, well, I got cut off from JSTOR, and I was like, did you download 12,000 articles in, like, 2 hours?
Right.
And she was like, no. And I was like, well, then what happened? So, how do we avoid that? Like, sticky situation.
Go through the library website.
It's really easy.
It's really
so
simple. Yeah.
So, let's say you're trying to... Okay, so I think in the little promo image, Stephanie, you said, like, is Sage trying to charge you $42.95 or whatever? Which is their going rate for academic articles.
I wanted so hard to find a real example, but I was on campus, and I was like, I guess I could, like, use the data on my phone.
I do think it's, like, 40-something.
It is. Oh, yeah.
I mean,
or more.
And then, like, put your credit card number in here.
And students do it sometimes.
First off, don't Ever.
Never pay for an article. We'll get it for you.
Until we tell you have to pay for it,
Yeah.
don't ever pay for it, okay? You've done something wrong. That's when you pay for it.
But that happens, especially if you're at home and you just like, that Sage thing was really cool. I'm going to go back and search it.
Yeah.
And you can search it,
Yeah.
but you can't read the content without having paid for it.
It'll tell you, like, you don't have access, and it'll give you, like, a little credit card option. You can enter your credit card and get the article for $42. Don't do that. There's a really simple way to avoid that problem, and it's to go through the library's homepage, click on your databases and e-reference link, choose your database, and then it's going to ask you to authenticate yourself or log in.
Right, so you're going to log in with your J number and your JAGNet password, and that's the way you prove that you are affiliated with the university.
Yeah, your JAGNet password is the same password you use for your
email
and USA Online.
Right.
That's the same password. So it's pretty easy. It's pretty simple. I think another tripping point for students is using Google Scholar.
Yes. Okay, and Google Scholar is great, and you can find so many things that we actually do have access to, and usually when you're on campus, it will tell you.
It's the same situation. It knows where you are.
Right. But if you're off campus and you find something really awesome through Google Scholar, it's difficult to know if we have access to it unless you do what, Beth?
Unless you have your settings set up, which there's an awesome LibGuide we have that explains how to do it, but it's pretty simple. If you just go to Google Scholar and then you click on the 3 lines up at the top on the left side of the screen, it says settings, and you can choose it says like library link, I think is what it is.
I think that's what it says, yeah.
And then you start typing University of South Alabama in, and then you set that up as like part of your settings so that when you come back to Google Scholar, it does that authentication process for you. I think you have to authenticate once, and it knows.
And then anytime you're logged into Google, it recognizes it.
Yeah, and it's like, hey, we're smart. We know you are part of University of South Alabama's collection, so you have access to its full collection. Right. So go ahead, if you have not done that and you're a Google Scholar user, go ahead and set up that setting so that you don't run into
a paywall.
Yeah, which is what we call it, right? Like it tells you, like, hey, you can't have access to that. It's essentially proprietary information, right? So what else about? I mean, that's pretty simple.
It is. It's pretty straightforward.
But it happens.
It happens a lot.
Yeah.
And if you ever do, like if you're ever, even on campus, sometimes weird stuff will happen if you don't go through the library website.
Yeah, it's just a good habit to kind of get into, I think. Like just when you think research, start at the library homepage. Right. Because a whole lot of and our electronic resources librarian is probably going like, that is an oversimplification of how this happens, which is probably totally true. Sorry, Ellen. There's a whole lot of back end stuff that Ellen does to make everything work nicely, and all that is intended to be funneled through the library homepage. So like all those weird situations to let it know that you're right and that you're okay and that you should be here.
Right.
It's magic.
So what should they do if they go through the library website and they encounter a problem?
So first things first, I would check. So I'm assuming you're saying it's asking you to log in and you've tried and you can't. You can't authenticate yourself. First things first, just check to make sure that your password is right.
Yeah, check your username and password. I had students where up and down he was logging in correctly.
Yeah.
And he opened another browser. And maybe it was a browser issue, but
I doubt it. I think it was a fat finger issue.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, I do sometimes
I do it all the time,
right, fat finger.
Or you changed it recently and you keep using the old one.
But remember, it's J00 and then the rest of your J number, so that's important. And then capitalization does matter, so make sure you get that right. So first I would say check that you're not fat fingering it.
Right.
The next thing is, Stephanie and I mentioned this when we first started the live today, is that you need to be a current faculty member, student, or staff.
So if you're gone, sorry.
And sometimes things get weird. So let's say you've taken a semester off.
Or if you're faculty, you didn't teach for a semester.
Right. Something's weird, and that our authentication runs off of the university's essentially kind of enrollment.
And sometimes it happens with programs that have strange enrollment too.
Yeah. So if you med students, sometimes they start at a different time, or PA students because they have a different enrollment pattern. But just if you're current. You need to be current, currently enrolled. If you are currently enrolled, and you think,
currently employed,
right, they haven't fired you yet. If you're currently enrolled or currently employed, and you think, well, something's weird about this, then you can get in touch with us. Call the Learning Commons desk downstairs. We can troubleshoot some things, like we have some kind of ways to check and see. And then if all else fails, we have exhausted our knowledge on how to do it. We will punch you to Ellen, who will figure out.
Who can fix all things.
Who can fix all things. Like, I'm pretty sure she's got, like, NASA running up the 4th floor. But she'll figure out what's going on. And it could be there's an error in Banner, which is how the university tracks you and all sorts of stuff. So
it might not even be a problem with you. Like, you could
it's not your fault, it's ours. It's not you, it's me.
More or less, yes.
Yeah, I mean, and it happens. Like, you should totally be legit, and you should be able to log in, and you can't.
Right. And if you can't get in, let us know, because other people might be having the same problem.
Yeah, because something, like, and that does happen. I will say sometimes the thing that we use, we won't use all the words because they're strange. Ellen's like, oh my god. The magic portal. The wardrobe that we use.
The electrical wardrobe.
That lets you authenticate yourself does sometimes break.
Yes.
So, if that happens, we generally know about it. So if you call, then we can say, like, oh, hey, it's down for a hot minute. It'll be back up. Yep. But do call and let us know, because sometimes
we don't realize something's
wrong because we're on campus, remember? So everything works for us.
And it might not be working for someone who's
in Mississippi.
Campus,
Yeah.
And hey, Ellen, if you want to come on next week and set us straight.
Ellen's like... No, I went to her authentication workshop.
I did too.
Okay, so we're mildly... Right, we don't know all the, like, technical bits, but we know what happens.
We can help you fix most of the things.
Yeah, most of the bits. But just remember, like, that you have to go... Big takeaway. You have to go through the library to access the library's paid collections. They're not for free.
And I think that's what it all comes down to. Yeah.
Yep, nothing's free. Well, except love, which...
Yeah, but love won't write your research paper for you.
Accurate. Okay, so wait, hold on, that's gonna kill me. Okay, keep talking. Alright, so we're at 2 o'clock. Anything else we want to say about authentication?
No, I think we pretty much covered it. Make sure you go through the library website, set up your Google Scholar so that it knows that you are part of the university.
Sorry, guys. I don't know what happened. Keep going. Keep talking.
I don't know.
Authentication got me off a klimt. Look out. Okay.
It's just one of those things.
One of those days, too. Okay, so authentication. If you have questions, don't hesitate to ask them on Instagram.
Or reach out to us.
Yeah. Okay, take it away.
All right, so if you want
Before I, choke to death.
You're following us on Instagram.
Lucky you.
Lucky you. Or to, encourage your friends, if you dare, to also follow us on Instagram. We also have a Facebook page, and all of the previous episodes of Marx Library Live are on YouTube under Marx Library Live.
Yeah. Okay, so that's authentication in a nutshell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty short and simple.
We have 3 more topics, and I can't remember what they are. What are we talking about next week?
We're going to talk about Boolean. No, we already did.
No, we don't. Why are we keep talking about
Boolean? Keywords and search terms.
Yes. So we're going to talk about scope of a project.
Scope.
Yeah. So
developing a topic.
Developing a topic, but like on a broader scale. So we're actually going to take a really cool topic from one of Stephanie's disciplines. And we're going to watch out, world. And we're going to work through how to think about a topic, how to narrow its scope, and then the next week, what does scope even mean?
Yeah. What is a scope?
Right. And then the next week we'll take that same topic and continue to work through how would we go about
identifying our keywords and search terms. Like, how do we take this topic and then use it to find information?
Yeah. And then it'll be exciting.
It's going to be great.
Okay, guys, so
I think that pretty much wraps it up.
Yeah. Have a great week.
And if there's anything you want us to talk about,
almost
got it. If there's anything you want us to talk about, let us know.
Let us know. All right, guys.
Bye, everyone.
Bye. Did it? Nope. I don't think it is.
I think we're still live.
I think we're still live. Goodbye the second time.